I just recorded a whole bunch, but it didn't actually record, so I'm redoing it. Okay, so last time we went over Cursor, and the time before then, we went over Claude and ChatGPT, the LLMs that you can use to create the foundation of the website, to ask it to make changes, and then we use Cursor to even make more changes, to do the scaffolding, so to create the application to be able to test it locally, as I have here. And by testing it locally and being able to build it locally, it means that we can then host it online and have full control over how it's hosted, which means be able to put it online for people to see it and for users to go onto it. So just a quick overview of what we've done. This time, we're going to go over GitHub and Git, which are two separate things. You could think of Git as, let's go with GitHub first. You could think of GitHub as like a library, online library that holds a bunch of codes and things called repositories. So you can kind of think of a repository as a book. And so what Git does is allows you to package the code here. So package all of this and then condense it and push it up into this online library. So I'm going to show you GitHub overview. Okay, so here's my GitHub page. Here's the overview. You can see I have my picture here. I have a cute little interface here to kind of show my profile. Get in, losers. We're going to write some code. That's from Mean Girls. And you can see profile views. I have little language, buy me a coffee, because why not put that out there? Just a little tip jar for anyone that uses my code. Here you can see my contributions. So this is how many times I have taken code and used Git to push it up into the coding library, into GitHub. So you can see how many times. The darker color is for how many times I've committed in one day. And commit is the language. I'm going to have a little worksheet that shows you the commands and what they mean and sort of more vernacular, because it's really easy to fall into the jargon. So I'm going to show you, let's see, if it's good, it's important to create your own profile. So go to github.com and click sign up. It looks like this for now. It changes quite a bit, the UI. So just make sure you go to GitHub. I'll add the link in. Click sign up. You can use your Google, your Apple, your email, whatever you like. It's pretty secure. It's a pretty well-known service. So once you create your account, we're going to come back here. You're going to go to your profile. You can even go through it from here. So you can update your profile, add stuff to it. It's quite wonderful. And then go to repositories. Now we can do a new repository, and we can do Painter Portfolio. Name it that. We can make it public. We can make it private. For this, I'm going to make it public, make it shareable, and create repository. You don't have to worry about any of the other stuff. GitHub has a lot of cool features, and I'll also link resources to learning how to use GitHub. But for right now, you don't need to worry about it. So we can create a new repository on the command line or push an existing repository from the command line. We're going to usually go with, from this sort of workflow that I'm teaching you in this course, we're going to do this one. So you can sort of ignore here. We can just always focus on this. So pushing an existing repository from the command line. See how it says git remote add origin. Now we need to download Git. Git is super important to have on your computer, and we can download it multiple different ways. If you have, let's see, Git for Windows download. If you have Windows, go to this link and click here to download the latest. You're going to click that, follow the prompts. Sometimes you need to restart your computer after you download it. It'll usually tell you, and that's just so the computer can load up from its hard drive to short-term memory that it has Git to work with. If you have Mac, then you can do Git for Mac, and you can install it here. This gives you commands that you can use to install it. Homebrew, Mac ports, so a whole bunch of different things. Homebrew is, you can basically search in your Mac for Homebrew and then follow those, brew, install, Git. And then you're able to install it. It'll install the package for you. Once you have Git installed, we're going to restart Cursor. And this is also, you don't always need to, but this is just, I'm trying to make this process as easy as possible for as many people as possible, because it's very easy to get overwhelmed with all the downloads and how they all communicate with each other. And there's a lot of possibility for a breakdown to happen. All right, once you have, there we go. So it's gonna look like this. We've restarted it, we've re-downloaded Git, and we have created a GitHub account. Okay, so let's go to the next step. Now we're in Cursor, and we're going to use GitHub for the very first time. I have wiped my system of GitHub credentials so I can walk through with you using Git for the first time to connect to GitHub. Sorry, I have a bit of a stutter. So we're gonna go to terminal, new terminal. Gonna have that, and we're gonna go, sometimes that happens on mine. So we're gonna go git init. Git init initializes a Git repository. So initializes a book that we're gonna then move up to GitHub. So it's gonna exist in both places, GitHub and our cursor. So we have git init, git add, period. That means add everything in this repository, and that means add all of this code here. Git add dot, git commit. Git commit means we're gonna write a message, but because we're not connected to GitHub yet, we need to configure our GitHub credentials. So I'm gonna copy that, git config global user email. My user email is carriemariah@gmail.com. And now, git config global username. My username is Carrie Mariah. Okay, now we're gonna try git commit, and now we can write our message. So this one, you type I first. I means input. This is something called Vim. It's not used very often anymore unless you're using a Linux system. You can type an in for input, and now you can type normal. So I can do initial commit. You can type anything you want. This is for your record keeping. Then you press escape, :WQ, write and quit. Write, save, quit. So it's writing our message, storing it in memory, and then quitting from this Vim simulator. There we go. And that's our first commit. Now we're gonna push, git push. This means we're pushing into the library. And because we haven't set our GitHub repository, we're gonna go back to here where our GitHub is. And this is from now, this point onwards is where we follow this. We only have to do it once. We're just setting it. Oops. So copy, paste. Now we have a remote origin. So it knows which place to add this code to. It's now gonna add it to this repository. We're gonna do git branch and main. That stuff gets a bit more complicated, but you can just copy and paste at this point. Push u origin main. And it may ask for another credential, so it's gonna ask us to sign in. So once you click the link, and if you're already signed into GitHub on your browser, you just click, sign in. It'll confirm. Check your cursor. If cursor looks like this in the terminal, set up to track origin main, everything up to date, then you are golden. This means, let's say I want to add a change. Let's say I want to add, hey, let's make the CTA, call to action, buttons more engaging and bright. I'm being vague. That's not always the best thing to do. I just want to show you a quick example. Here we go. It's updating. Awesome. That's done. We can take a look. npm run dev. And my screen is a bit small. Let's see. Where's a button? So now it made the button a bit brighter. Just made it a bit bigger. We can make it even bigger. I don't think it got, here it's yellow. It kind of pops out a little bit, has a little bit of gradient. So as an example, let me move you back here. And that's just sort of how you can manipulate the website a bit. I'm gonna click, let me expand the terminal. Okay, so you can see it's showing. Localhost, you can show it on your own browser. Control C is how you get out of it. Control C. Control C, and then I'm gonna do git status. It tells us what files have changed. So you can read it, because it is very nice in that way. On branch main, that's a branch. There's a whole other course I could teach about GitHub and what branches mean and how it's like a river with tributaries flowing through for code. If it's only you and we're just doing this, you don't really need to know about it, and I don't want to overwhelm. So we have changes not staged for commit. That means we have a change locally. So we have a change on our computer on Cursor that hasn't been added to the library yet, which means that it won't make changes to a hosted site. So what we want to do, anytime you see something red and we've made changes and we want it to appear online, we're going to do git add period, just like before, git commit, I for input, making buttons cute again, escape, W, Q, git push. And there we go. Now it's online. So they match. So we're going to go to GitHub. I'm going to refresh this page so you can see. And voila. There is our code that we have on Cursor. This is an important step because to host it, so to put the site online for other people to see, to visit, to interact with, we're going to use GitHub. GitHub will be the source of truth for the hosting service. And the hosting service will take everything from GitHub to present online. So anytime you make changes and you want to test locally, that means you can make any changes you want, do anything to the site, make it appear, and you can look at how it looks, and it isn't live yet. It's not yet on the site. When you push to GitHub, that's when it becomes live. So you want to separate those two mindsets. GitHub is what shows up online for people and the way that we're doing it. And then testing it locally is what it shows up for us in our testing box. Doesn't show up live yet. So hopefully that's a good, big picture overview of Git and GitHub with practical steps. And I'll provide guides so you can do more reading for the stuff that you want to know. And then if you have any questions or any issues, please reach out to me. I'm always happy to do more, maybe like a one-off video about questions that people have or anything of that nature. Thanks. Bye.